Hello guys, welcome to your channel which is Science Genius. This is Sushant. We have been uploading videos for your preparation for the engineering entrances. So in today's video we are going to be discussing on the topic of friction. So if you're new to the channel, you can just go and watch our playlist for the MHCET section, for the mathematics and also for the physics. The link for them is given in the description below. Also keep liking our videos, keep sharing our videos and do subscribe to our channel. To never miss a notification from us, do hit the bell icon just beside the subscribe button. Also comment in the comment section what more videos you would like us to make on, so accordingly we can curate our content for you guys. So let's get going. So the question, we have a 10 kg body which is kept on a surface. So let us just represent it. So we have this 10 kg body. So since it is 10 kgs, it's going to be having its weight downwards. So it's going to be 100 newtons. We are taking G as 10. So 100 newtons downwards. We'll be having the normal reaction from the surface to the body. And there is a force which is making an angle of 30 degrees with the surface. So a force F is to be represented over here, which is making an angle of 30 degrees with the surface. We need to find what is the minimum F required to move this body. The angle of friction is given, that means they have given indirectly the mu value. You can recollect the concept, mu will be nothing but equal to tan theta, where theta is nothing but the angle of friction. So you're getting mu as nothing but tan 30. So because of this body moving on the right side, there is going to be a frictional force which is acting on the left side. And that frictional force, since it is the minimum F which is required to just move it, it's going to be nothing but equal to mu into n. So if we find the x component of this force, we know that the x component is going to be nothing but F cos theta, that is F cos 30, and we'll be finding the y component, which is nothing but going to be equal to F sin 30. So this is nothing but all the forces in the y direction. Moving on to the next one, which is the x direction, we'll be getting this as F cos 30 is equal to, we'll be getting mu n. So mu, we know it's nothing but tan 30, so it's going to be tan 30 into n. So what we can do is we can divide this equation, so we get rid of the F value, and from this we can calculate what is going to be the n value. So finding the n value from this, what we get is this becomes tan 30 is equal to 100 minus n divided by, this is again tan 30 into n. So if we cross multiply, we know tan 30 is nothing but 1 by root 3. So tan square 30, it's going to become tan square 30. So it's going to be 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 n will be equal to 100 minus n. So from this we'll be getting the n value as nothing but 75. So getting the values of 75, we can then substitute the value inside this, and it's nothing but going to be F sin 30 is equal to minus 75 plus 100. So we are getting this as F sin 30 is equal to 25, and from that we'll be getting F value as, this goes that side, we know sin 30 is nothing but half, so 25 into 2, which is nothing but 50. So that's nothing but your option D. Moving on to the similar type of question, wherein we have a body which is of 50 newtons. So the weight is directly given to us on the surface, which is just moved by the force of 28.2 newtons. We can see 28.2 newtons is there. We need to find what is going to be the frictional force and the normal reaction. So again, drawing on this itself, the FBD, so remaining forces, we have the N and we have the frictional force, so F. So next what we need to do is we need to just equate the x component of the forces and the y component of the forces. So first we need to find the frictional force. So frictional force, directly we can get F is equal to nothing but your 28.2 into cos 45. So cos 45, we know it is nothing but 1 by root 2, and 1 by root 2, looking at the value which is 28.2, we can write this as 1.41. So approximately this value comes out to be 20 newtons. So directly we can see from the frictional force value itself, we can go for the option D. Moving to the next question, we have a U-tube which contains different liquids. So we have one which is oil and the other one which is water, and the oil's density is unknown to us, and these are the information given to us, that is the L value and the D value. I need to find what is the density of the oil. So what we can see is that basically oil is floating on water. So obviously the value of my oil's density should be less than that of water. So obviously the option A is going to be the wrong option. We have to select from these. So what we'll do is, we know that this particular level, the pressure at this point is going to be equal to pressure at this point. So let us say this is my point A and this is my point B. So pressure at A will be equal to pressure at B. So we will be applying the formula, that is my pressure at A. If I calculate from this end, we see that it is nothing but P naught, which is nothing but the atmospheric pressure, because this is open to air, plus the rho GH value. So it's going to be rho, which is the density of oil, which is unknown to us. The G value, which is, we can take it as G itself over here, which is 10 actually. And then the H height value, which is nothing but D plus L. This will be equal to P naught plus the same thing. Since this, the height is going to be L over here, and we know density of water is 1000. So it's going to be 1000 into the G value into L. So the P naught value, which is nothing but the atmospheric pressure, it's cancelled out, and we can calculate the rho value from here. So also the G also gets cancelled out. So we have this as 1000 into L divided by D plus L. Now since we have the ratio of length, we need not convert it to meters. So we'll keep it as it is. It becomes 1000 into L, which is 135. So we have 135 plus 15, which comes out to be 150. So it's going to be nothing but 900. So that's nothing but your option. Moving ahead with the next one, we have a hole at the bottom of the tank, which is filled with water. And if the total pressure at the bottom is 3 atmosphere, then what is the velocity of the efflux? So let us consider that this is my tank and this is the water level H. So here it's going to be 1 atmosphere, and they are telling that at the bottom it is 3 atmosphere, and there is a hole at this point, and from here the water is basically leaking out. So I need to find what velocity is going to be over here. So we know that the velocity is given by root of 2gh. So I need to find what is the value of g into h. That you can get it from this particular value, that is the difference of the pressure. So we know that, so we can see that, let us say the pressure at this point is P and the atmospheric pressure is P naught. So we can use the equation, that is P is equal to P naught plus rho gh. So my pressure at this point is 3 atmosphere. It becomes 3 into 10 raised to 5, and the pressure at the atmospheric pressure is given as 1 atmosphere, so it is 10 raised to 5 plus its rho, which is 1000, and I need to find what is the GH. So let us keep it as GH itself, no need to calculate the G value. So this becomes 2 into 10 raised to 5 divided by 1000, which is equal to GH. So this gets cancelled and we see that this becomes 2 into 10 raised to 2. Now coming to the value, that is velocity. Velocity is given by root of 2gh. Substituting the value of gh in that, it becomes root of 400. So you can see that's nothing but your option A. Moving on to the next one, we have this hydraulic pump on which we are exerting a force of F on the small piston, which is of diameter 8 centimeter, and it is being transmitted to the pressure is being transmitted to the second piston, which is having the diameter of 24 centimeter. If the mass of the load is 1400 kg, so basically the load is being applied at the second piston, which is of higher diameter. So mass is present at that point. What should be the value of F so that it can lift this particular load? That is nothing but P1 is equal to P2. So P1 is nothing but F1 upon A1 is equal to F2 upon A2. So is equal to F2 upon A2. So I need to find what is nothing but going to be the F1 value, that is a force which is being applied, this force. So F is equal to, it's going to be A1 upon A2 into F, which is, in this case, since we have to lift the load of 1400, so it's 1400 into G value, which is 10. So area, that is the cross-sectional area of the piston, which is, we know it's pi r square. So area of the first one, which is related to 8 centimeters, so it's pi 4 square, divided by the second one, which is this one. So it's pi 12 square into its 1400 into 10. So if you do a rough calculation over here, this comes out nearly as 1600. So that's nothing but your option C. So thank you guys for watching this video. Do let us know in the comment section what more videos or what more content you would like us to make on. Do like our videos, do share our videos, and do subscribe to our channel. Also hit the bell icon which is just beside the subscribe button. Your subscribing of our video will help us make more content for you and help you in your preparation. So if you intend to prepare for your first year of engineering, we also have videos related to that. So you can just go and watch those videos. We have the videos for the applied mathematics part, for the basic electrical and the engineering mechanics, which are nothing but the main subjects which are there for your first semester of engineering. So the link for them is given in the description below, so you can just go and watch them. So thank you guys for watching. So keep learning, keep watching, and happy learning, and stay safe in the current situation. So bye.